So Pokemon Legends Arceus has officially released, and all the reviewers are going around talking about all of this and all of that, but there is something that the reviewers just simply will not tell you about the video game. And it's that this game is so freaking good. This game is absolutely insane. I have logged 40 hours within this game already, and I have completed the main story, and I am going to tell you without spoilers, first off, about my experience with the game. If you are still a new person to the Pokemon series or you haven't picked this game up, hopefully you'll take the time to listen to this, because I have some really cool things to talk about in this video that won't spoil your experience, and I even have a bit of gameplay to show alongside that won't really show off too much, but it will give you a general gist of what this game has to offer and some cool sights that you could see. I really want to talk about my first impressions with the game. I was really shocked with how the game began and how it scaled as I played for long durations of time. I've got to say that this has got to be one of the first Pokemon games in a very long time where I felt as if my progress actually mattered and that I was doing something actually worth the work and the effort. There were a very little amount of things that actually hindered my progress, which is something I'm grateful for, because in the previous generations of Pokemon games, there were a lot of annoying things that you had to do in order to succeed in your event. You know, they always pushed you towards this mainline goal of completing and getting the main mission done, and never really gave you much of the opportunity to do things yourself and explore the lands outside of this concaved area box that was the routes that you had to travel on. This game takes an entirely different approach, and I think that's what made the experience, especially in the beginning, something that was absolutely amazing to behold. I think this game takes the ideas and adventures from the previous Pokemon games and collides all of these amazing ideas while still applying new things that we haven't really seen before in other Pokemon titles. There's things like crafting certain things like Pokeballs or revives or potions on the field without the need to go to a Poke Center. There's the aspects of actually going out in a battle and running around in the field and just enjoying the battle itself. Hell, you could even run in the middle of the battle, even though it might not do you too much good. Find out and see what happens. You can do so many things like catch a Pokemon without the need of actually battling it, and it makes the game feel amazing. It makes it feel less tedious, and I feel like that's what we've been experiencing, especially in the current generation of Pokemon games. This tedious feeling and less of the adventurous and mysterious feeling as well, which is something that this game is really driving hard on selling. There's a lot of mystery that comes to this game, from where you are in the story to where you have to explore to the areas you may come up upon. Everything is sort of new but old at the same time, as they're focusing on the older scale of the Hisui village. There are a lot of really cool Pokemon that you can meet, and you can interact with the world in so many amazing ways, whether it's from scaling the terrains with very different Pokemon to certain events that take place on the map at random times. There are actually like disaster points in this game where certain things will spawn and occur, and that may or may not give you the opportunity to catch some really cool Pokemon. I highly recommend taking a look at these areas that pop up on the map. If you haven't played the game, or if you are going to play the game, you should really give this game a shot, because honestly, I've never seen anything like this before in a Pokemon game, and it's just absolutely astounding. This game even has simplistic things like a day-night cycle where you don't have to go to sleep or do anything like that. If you want to be up from sunrise to sunset, your character can be there for however long they need to be in what environment they need to be, and different Pokemon will spawn according to those times. I really like seeing this because you never have to force time to shift. You could really grind all your time out, and it really adds a bit of a surprise to what's going on, because you'll see a Gastly spawn when it's in the middle of the night, and you'll realize that it's nighttime, and that's something that I went through several times. I was like, oh my god, a new Pokemon every 5 seconds. This is absolutely insane. And again, catching them so easily felt absolutely amazing. Of course, there are a lot of things that I could talk about this game, with the whole new type of art style moves that you could use, with the agile and with the strong moves, but that really just narrows down all my thoughts on the mechanics. Really, everything here in this Pokemon game has been added and implemented so beautifully, and it's been implemented in a way that we haven't seen before, and I think that it's a way that everyone will really enjoy. This is such a big difference from any of the previous Pokemon games that we've ever borne witness to. I think the game looks pretty good for how it is. It's not the most graphically beautiful game on the planet, of course. It doesn't have Pokemon Snap levels of graphical quality, but you can see that they gave it their all in certain areas, and that this game does have somewhat of a life aspect to it. I'd say that some areas could use a lot more grass and foliage, and a lot more areas could use the detail if the Switch had the power to supply it, but for what they were working with and for the worlds they were able to generate for this game, I really do think that they worked really well on creating the vast types of terrain and opening up the opportunity to have larger map scales all in one experience without the need for multiple load screens. You can't seamlessly load into certain areas. There are a lot of areas that do require load screens because the Switch just simply isn't that powerful of a console to supply that much loading, but I do think that they did well with the map, and I think that that's something that does need to be commended, even if it's not like PlayStation 5 level graphics. Now, on terms of that though, how was performance? Honestly, performance wasn't too big of an issue for me. I was playing on Nintendo Switch, of course, and you guys know how Nintendo Switch can be. It's only as good as you can make it out to be. I think that performance most of the time was pretty good. There were a couple of times where I saw the game do a couple of hitches and snitches, but there weren't any major key points that caused any issues for my gameplay experience. It's definitely not a crazy straight strong 60 FPS playing. I don't even know if it even caps over that, to be honest, but it was something that was smoother than a lot of things we've seen in the past. So I'm very grateful to have that there, and I do consider everyone give this a good shot. Still, the frame rate is something that's playable. Even with a lot of Pokemon on screen, I think it's not going to be a problem. And again, there is the day one patches that could come out to assist this game with performing a lot better. Overall, this game had an amazing story, something completely different from what I ever thought would be, and there are a lot of surprises that await you after you finish the game. I'm not going to spoil anything. I really don't want to talk too much about the in-game stuff because it really will tell you while you're playing the game what your end goal is to do, but there are a lot of differences in this game compared to how the previous Pokemon games go. You know, you don't just catch more than one thing. You really do have a lot of options, and it's up to you as the player to make those choices. Hopefully you all make your greatest choices in the story. Hopefully you all can understand and uncover this mystery that the Hisui village has to offer and stop the threatening dangers that have to come with this game as well. It definitely takes a bit of a darker turn for the story, and I'm actually happier to see that. You know, things are a lot more dangerous in the Hisui village. It's not like all of these Golden Gate villages that we've explored in the past with all of these friendlier environments. Things are really rough out there, so I think that that's a really neat spin, and it's definitely going to give a lot of the older Pokemon fanbase members a bit of a more experienced and a more fun understanding of this new region too. The game played great. That's all I can really say on that front. You know, I had a really good time, and honestly, I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10 for my review. I think that this game did do well. The reason why it didn't score a 10 out of 10 is because I think that games should perform 100% all the time. This game did skip a couple of times, and that's something that was a little bit noticeable. While it wasn't throughout the whole gameplay experience, it was there. I still will deduct 1 point for that, but 9 out of 10 for me personally is still a really good experience, especially if it's something that you just whipped out of nowhere from Game Freak. So I'm really happy to see them turn this around, especially after the whole debacle that was Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm very happy to see that this game is coming out and releasing this way, and I really do think that people will love it. I think you guys will love it too. Consider picking this game up heavily. Even if you aren't picking it up on release, consider it a couple weeks from then, or maybe a month or two, or hell, if you want a very late Christmas present, just buy this game and trust me and play it. It's something that's completely different, completely new, mysterious, and yet beautiful all in the same way. But that's all I really need to be saying. I've said this like several different times. We're gonna end it off here by asking, have you played Pokemon Legends Arceus yet? And if you haven't, are you considering picking it up? I'm really interested to see what you guys think about the core aspects in this game, and I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. But again, if you enjoyed, thank you guys and gals for watching this video. Again, hit that like and the subscribe button, and without further ado, please, peace out.